All right, welcome to the Boot Hill Sports Network, where tonight we've got a very special guest for you out there. Hayti head football coach, my man Shawn Jackson. He has come back home. Shawn is a graduate of Hayti High School and a classmate of mine from way back in 1989. That's right. What's up, Coach Jackson? How you doing tonight, my man?
Hey, brother, how you doing? Way back in '89. How about that?
Did you ever thought we'd see this day here, man? Huh?
Oh no, that's a great point, man. I think about that a whole lot. But hey, man, we're here. I'm glad I'm here. It's been a blast so far, man.
For sure. Hey, so you left Hayti in 2005. Let's catch up what you've been doing
Yep.
since you left Hayti in 2005. Tell our listeners out there what Coach Shawn Jackson has been doing.
I've been coaching ball the last 18 years. I've been all over the place. I went to coaching in college for a few years after I left Hayti, and then I had children. I was one of the few people that left college football because I wanted to leave it instead of being ran out the door. So my son was born. My second son was born. I went and coached in high school in Tennessee for 5 years, and then I went to Georgia for several years after that. Coached down there, probably the best ball in the world. It was a blast. I loved every minute of it. And then last year I was in Michigan. We moved back closer to my wife's parents, and then this opportunity came up to come back home. And man, Mark, I thought about it ever since I left here. I can tell you a story about that later if you want, but I've thought about it for the last 18, 20 years or whatever, and the chance came. And Dominique and Craig and Jackie and all them called me, man. I just hit it out of the park. So I'm just fortunate to be back.
I'll tell you what, it surprised me. I know your brother Derek had messaged me, and man, I tell you what, I had a
Yeah.
big smile on my face. Looked like a fat kid waiting on to take a bite of a Twinkie. I was so happy, my man. I'm
Hey,
glad to
man, I
have you back,
appreciate
man.
that.
Hayti needs a good coach like you. Hayti has had a winning program for the last 10 years or so. Um, we go back to 2015 and 16. Hayti was 7-4, 16 and 17, 10-2, 17 and 18, 9-3, and of course state championship years in 18 and 19, 15 and 0, and then 19 and 20, 10-2, 20 and 21, 10 and 1, and 20 and 22, 12 and 1, district champs, sectional, and lost in the state semifinals. And then, of course, last year, a very disappointing year for Hayti Indian Athletics as the football team comes off a 2-7 year. Coach, how can you capitalize and turn things around from a team that went 2-7 last year?
Mark, it didn't matter where I would be at when I got off. As soon as the game was over, I looked to see if Hayti won. It mattered a lot to me. And so when the YouTube thing happened, the COVID thing happened, the best thing in the world to me was to be able to, I could watch the games. So I wouldn't look at the score then. So I would go home and watch the game. And when we couldn't finish the year last year because we didn't have enough people and we forfeited a couple of games and had another game canceled and stuff like that, I took that really, really personal. That bothered me a great deal. It's a challenge to come back, and you have to start over. I mean, but that's not a death sentence in any way, shape, or form. You just gotta, wipe the blood off the walls a little bit and start over. And that's how it's going to be. We got a good group of kids. It's always people driven. You know what I mean? It's never about the coach. It's always people driven. We've got good people here. We just got to get more of them. And I've got good guys working for me. I've been fortunate to have these cats that I got now as far as coaches goes. So, we have to start over, and rebuild this thing from the ground up. From the seventh grade up to the 12th grade, the setup is here. It's going to be a work in progress, but I really, 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 the kids work hard, brother. I'm impressed with how hard they work. No issues as far as any of the discipline or any of that stuff. It's just they've been a joy to be around. It's just, we got to get in the weight room, man. We've got a long way to go, but we're going to get there.
So you talk about expectations and all that. How many kids do you actually have out, Coach?
We've had about 42 throughout the summer come to the weight room that's been hit and miss. You know, some going to stay with their dad, some working and stuff like that. We've averaged about 25 to 30 consistently, you know, every year, but we've got to get that number up more to 38 is the goal that I have is we need 38 players to consistently be there every day because we have to be able to play JV. You know, we have to be able to play young kids. We haven't played JV in several years and stuff like that. So we've got a big freshman class that we're really counting on to turn this thing around. So we need to get those kids involved and get a lot of playing time with them early. So, you know, we want 38 kids in order for us to have at least a couple of JV games. And maybe even I thought about we might schedule Cape or somebody like that if we get a freshman game, you know, to get some freshman games going. And that's what my goal is to have 38 players and to get the JV and the young levels going.
So you already answered one of my questions, and that was uh, schedule changes possibly down the road. I was wondering if you was going to tamper with that a little bit. And of course, you go to Quincy, Illinois this year, and I know we've been playing them last couple of years. Last year we had actually didn't make the trip. We had it. That was one of those forfeits that you talked about earlier. That was really
Yeah,
disappointing. But other than
yeah.
that, do you see any schedule changes? Maybe.
Not this year. I don't know about the Quincy, Illinois game this year too, Mark. Like we discussed that. That's really I don't know, outside of our range, you know, like they got a bunch of kids going to Notre Dame and stuff like that. So I don't know as far as that goes. I know that the Kennett game got moved to Saturday, then back to Friday. That's the only thing that I see coming as far as that deal. And then we got to figure out about this Quincy game uh,
So Ken
going
is on a
forward. But
Friday night.
yeah, Coach Rogers just told me that this week. Now they moved it from Saturday back to Friday, but you know because of the shortage in officials, which is a
That's right.
nationwide epidemic,
Hmm.
you know it could be go back to a Saturday. I don't know. I would rather personally play on Thursdays and Fridays. That way the people aren't putting binds. You know, when you play on Saturday, they want to go watch college football. They want to go do other things, and that just hurts our attendance and hurts our gates and puts families at a deficit. So, you know, but that's the only thing that I see there as of right now, you know.
All right, so let's talk about your staff. Who have you assembled to be on your staff this year, Coach?
I'll tell you what, you know, Philip Taylor worked with me back here when I was the head coach um, in in '05 before we left. He and I have been lifelong friends. Dominic Robinson was the head coach here before. He played for me. You know, I love him to death. Everybody calls him D-Rob. I gave him that nickname. It's been really a joy to me to go see and be there with him every day. I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it. Randy Gardner, you know, his jerseys hanging in the hall there. And what was important to me, Mark, was people that know Hayti,
That's
you
right.
know what's about Hayti, what Hayti is about, and Hayti kids and Hayti people. That's a big deal to me. Um, Reese Farr played here. He's going to help us. Travis Furcamp was the head strength coach here when we won the state championship in '18. He moved away to Branson and coached out there for 4 years. He came back this year, still home run hire, big time Randy Gardner home run hire. And then my son Cole, he's a football coach. He's really good. He left medical school to come work with me, so that's something that we
Wow.
still have a struggle with. we, we struggle with sometimes every now and then, but hey, man, you know,
That's
I never
that's
went to
called
work a
pulling
day.
some strings there, ain't it, buddy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He pulled on my heartstring a little bit when he did
Yeah.
that, but you know, I tell him all the time, I've never went to work a day in my life ever since I became a coach. I can't wait to leave to go there every day, and I'm bored when I get home. So I love it, man. I love every minute of being up there. And it has been so cool. And Terry Swan to come and see me and hang out with me and stuff like that. That's just been awesome. But you know, I don't spend a whole lot of time looking back because we ain't going that way. You know what I mean? We got to move forward and we got to figure out a way to get things done and get this deal pointed in the right direction. So it's been an awesome opportunity, but man, brother, we got a lot of work to do, a whole lot of work
Yeah.
to do.
So I know I've known you my whole life, Shawn, but some of these people out here listening might not have. So what it
Yeah.
wanted you to become a coach in the first place?
Um, when I was, I'd always loved it. Like when I was 5 or 6 years old, one time during a basketball game, they used to have these boards that had magnets on it where you draw up the plays on it. Well, Coach Reynolds and them called a timeout, and they're looking for the board. I had it underneath the bleachers, playing with it. And I was going to tell that story at Coach Reynolds' thing the other day, but I had to be in St. Louis. But and Mark Jackson and would come over to my house, and we would watch the Nebraska-Oklahoma game and just draw up ball plays. And I always wanted to do it, but my deal was to help people, man. So I was standing on the field at Texas A&M, and I got tapped on the shoulder. We were not just tapped. I mean, there's a group of people coming up behind us. And I turned around, Mark, and it was George and Barbara Bush. And they, big alumni people, and the Secretary of Defense was there in the whole 9 yards. But, I was just happening to be there. Naturally, they wanted to talk to Coach Pinkel and Matt Eberflus, who's the head coach of the Bears now. Just right place, right time, I guess. But after the game, Coach Pinkel, we're sitting on the bus, and I would talk to him on the bus, and he said, well, what did you think? And I said, well, man, Coach, we got to get better on third down. We got to be. He said, no, Shawn, a kid from Hayti, Missouri, met the President of the United States today, and you played at Texas A&M. And I told him, I said, Coach, this doesn't feel any different to me than when we played Chaffee, Missouri. And I had felt like that the whole time that I've been there, Mark, and because here I felt like that the players needed me and I needed the players, and I got into this because I love the players. I needed the players. You know how we grew up. I mean, the people you played with, we've been friends for 45, 46 years now, whatever, it's because we played ball together. And that camaraderie and all that meant a lot to me. And I don't know, I love being around the players. I love ball. Everything about it has always stuck out to me. And I get to, go play a game for a living. You know what I mean? I mean, it's that simple.
Who's your mascot there with you?
That's my dog, Victory.
Victory. Hey, what a name, huh?
Yeah, Victory. Victory. The other one was Champ. No, he's Victory.
Will Victory be on the sidelines this year, will you?
No. God, I wish I could teach him, to go get the tea or something like that. But
remember,
I was thinking that
Coach
would be
Mathis. Remember, he would train his dog out there on that field, man. That dog.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Blow that whistle one time, it meant something. 2 times, it meant something. Yeah.
Yep. Golly, I had thought when you said that, dude. I hadn't thought about that in forever. Hey, he left here and became one heck of a successful baseball coach. Over there in Dyersburg. Now his son is the head coach over there. I think that's really cool, man.
I got one for you even better. So I go to my daughter, my youngest, graduated from Dyersburg. So I go over there to award her a scholarship. And Coach Mathis is right there sitting on the front row when I'm awarding my daughter the scholarship from the Eagles scholarship.
Wow.
And I thought, man, this is crazy. And then I go to a summer game when my nephew Bryce Manley's playing over there for Dyersburg travel ball. And his coach's son was coaching my nephew. So crazy, small world. Chris Turnage,
small world, but you know what?
Chris Turnage's son's on that team. Have you seen him?
I heard that,
he's a beast, man.
No, I heard he had a really, really good kid.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Hey, Chris was a heck of a football player.
Yeah,
unbelievable worker, and even a better dude. You know what I mean? So, God, there's so many. Jimmy Jackson's sons over there plays at Dyersburg now. There's so many excuse me, talented players that came out of Hayti, Missouri that's moved on or live around here. It's mind-boggling to me, man.
Well, Coach, man, schedule wise, of course, you open up at Kennett. So it's going to be a
Yep.
big road game there. Of course, we just started playing Kennett again last year, and we gave them a good battle. The first game last year, I think, was 26-22 or something like that. Very close ball game. And actually, at one point, we could have took the lead at a fumble recovery was called back, called an incomplete pass. It looked like the old Brady Tuck rule, as I'm going to call it. But neither here or there. That started the tail of the season. And then you go
Yep.
Portersville comes in. Now, Portersville is coming off a very successful campaign. They got our running back, Smith, I believe is his last name. He was a Carr Trophy winner, so that's going to be a tough game as well. And then you got the Scott City Rams are always tough. So you got tough games right there, 3 off the bat.
Yeah. You got 24 from Portersville. I felt like he was the best player down here. They do a really good job at Portersville. I was impressed with him. And then Scott City has a really good quarterback.
That's right.
That he's coming back too. Yeah, he was a finalist. Both those two were like he won it. One of them won it, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, Pagnagas from I believe is how you pronounce it. Pagnagas from Scott City won it. Smith got second, and it could have been vice versa.
Hell of a ball player.
I know Smith had.
I'd take either one of them.
That's right. Smith had 500 yards against us.
Yeah, he had a big game. I got the video and watched their game versus Scott City. You know, in the playoff game, he had like 500 yards that game, 24 did. Of course, the kid from Scott City, 13, I think, he was an unbelievable player too. I mean, they've got to do so. You know, right out the gate, you know, you've got play good people, but you know, my goal has never changed as far as being a football coach. It's really the simplest thing you can do in all sports is win one game a week. That's all you got to do. You know, you just win one game a week. So our focus is to win one game a week. That's it. I don't say the L word. You know, I say we win and we learn. You know, so that's the deal out the gate. Kennett will be fun. You know, when I was here before, we never played Kennett. We just couldn't get it to line up for some reason. It wasn't that they were ducking us or anything. We just couldn't get it. We couldn't get it to line up. But now, you know, we get to play them. And so that'll be interesting. And then Portersville, Scott City, you know, right out the gate, you got 3 really good ones, man. And then Quincy, Illinois, who, you know, they're in the top 5 or whatever in Illinois right now. Private school, got a whole lot of ball players. You got to go up there on a Saturday. So it's a tough deal right out the gate. But look, man, in order to be better, you got to beat good people.
That's right. You got to play competition.
Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, Ric Flair said to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
That's right, baby.
And and I've said that quote my whole life. You know, when I was in Georgia, we played Alvin Kamara and Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun. You know, we went against them dudes all the time doing something. And heck, in order to be good, you got to play people like that. So I love that. I love the challenge of that, and that's why you coach. So, you know, it'll be hard. But there's never anything easy ain't worth having. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard. You got to do it right out the gate. It is what it is.
Speaking of Scott City, they got that new turf field down there. And from my understanding, you got a project going on here at Hayti. Let's tell our listeners about what's coming soon to Hayti.
They're out there right now redoing the football field. The school board voted to get a brand new track and a turf football field here in Hayti. So it should be done by August 1st. I think personally that this is one of the biggest things to happen to Hayti, Missouri, Mark, since integration. You know, like to what they have done here, because this is a very big deal. It's not only a big deal for Hayti High School. It's not a football thing. It's a school thing. There'll be 5,000-10,000 people come to Hayti every year for 7-on-7 tournaments, for team camps and all that stuff. But we've had state champion track teams here, and we've never hosted a track meet at Hayti, Missouri. One of the most storied track programs, won it in girls, not only boys. We won it in girls. We won it in boys. We won it in all those things. And then, we got second a couple times, and we tied for the state championship this year, and to never have hosted a track meet. So
Yeah.
here we are. We get to finally host track meets. We're going to be able to have all that stuff. And it's also a commitment to the school. You know what I mean? You're either, you got to get better. And they're really all the board members in the administration. I mean, Jackie Johnson to the new superintendent, Mr. Pickering, Gerald Pickering, to Dominique, to Craig, to every board member was just awesome about that. It's make Hayti grow, make Hayti grow, make Hayti better. Do something better for the kids and the people. And that was their whole focus. And to not have a turf field in this day and time, Marks, to say like I'm not going to have Wi-Fi. I'm going to go with dial up. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, nobody wants dial up anymore. In order to get in order to be able to get a new track, you had to redo the football field anyway to make that work, to make that go over. So the turf was the best the best option. I'm sorry. You're never going to get rained out. It's never going to be muddy. The Pee Wee coach isn't mad at the high school coach because he can practice out there now. The junior high coach isn't mad at the Pee Wee. There's a place for everybody as far as all that goes. And I think it's great for the city of Hayti all the way around and what it's going to bring to the table.
Absolutely, man. That is something that the community will be proud of when you come and see that state of the art facility. And like you said,
yeah,
we even wanted to track back when we were in high school, 88 track state champs,
yeah,
and we didn't host a meet. And you can remember they started on that track when we were in school, and where we were supposed to get
yeah.
one, it never developed. So that's
That's
probably
right.
the best thing that's going to come out of the whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? The track meets
Oh,
and being able to
I
display
agree.
all that. You bring in people in our community. They're going to spend money here. So I'm just loving the idea. You have come in and making changes right off the bat. I mean, Hayti, of course, had disappointing season last year, and that's all behind us now. And you brought in a award-winning staff. I mean, God dog, you lined up the all-stars here who all have got ties to Hayti, so you know they care about
Yep,
Hayti and want to do good things.
yep,
And man, I'm excited about this football year. I tell you, I've been in the booth for the last probably 4 or 5 years. I think actually my first year in the booth, we won a state title. I said, man, I can't get no better than this.
no,
So
no, no,
we got
no,
to get
no.
there again, baby. I love sitting up there where Mike Kelly sits, and it is great,
Oh yeah,
baby.
for sure.
Uh,
That's the whole goal at the end of the day, though. We can talk about all this. I came here to be first. You know what I mean? I didn't come here for any of this stuff. I came back here to be first. We're gonna be first. That's gonna happen. We're gonna win it. It might not be this year. It might not be whenever, but we're gonna win it. I mean, the whole purpose of coming here is to win it. We got the setup to do it. We're gonna have the players to do it. And I gotta say this, Mark. You either win because of the administration or in spite of them. In a lot of places that you go, and here, we have the total support from the top down, from the superintendent to the principals to the athletic director to the school board, all that stuff's in line. Now, we've got to just get the kids out there, get everything going. The coaches that we've hired, they coach people. They care about people from Hayti. If they say, well, my dad is Robert Peel, well, he played for me. They all know him. Think about the gardeners and what the gardeners have done for the city of Hayti. You know what I mean? Throughout their life. And those kids come in there, Randy Gardner knows all their aunts and uncles and moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas. So, I mean, there's a connection there that Philip Taylor coached them all in elementary PE. There's a connection there that I've loved sitting around just listening to them talk to each other every day. So it'll be fun, man. We just got to we got to take baby steps. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We got to build it right. Players are like good barbecue. You got to cook them slow.
there
You
you
got
go.
to start from the seventh grade up. Dominique has laid out an unbelievable plan for the weightlifting in the high school and all that stuff. and now we just got to follow through with it, man.
So, yeah, your roots got to start young to help develop. We talked about that before the show in the Little League program, and of course, Pee Wee League
Oh yeah,
football going on, so that's a good thing too. So,
yeah,
man, I just can't wait. Kickoff is the 25th. Is it going to be now? The 26th of August
yeah,
against Kennett,
yeah.
and
Yes, sir. Friday at clinic.
yeah. And speaking of winning, that team 5 miles down the road, Carruthersville, has that Battle of the Boot Hill trophy that I made, so you need to make sure we get that back over here.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know that those. I drove around over there. I haven't been back here since. Naturally, I drove by that school after it was built and all that stuff. But man, I was impressed at all the stuff that they had done over there after that tornado and how that town looked. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just they done a. Those have always been good first class people over there. And when I coached over there and dealt with those kids, I mean, they're as good a kids as you'll ever coach, and the people, their parents, as you'll ever be around. But at the end of the day, man, I done been. I'm talking about to where there's 20,000 people at the game, but to me, there's no better rivalry than Hayti and Crothersville. And anywhere, anything that I've ever done, anything that I've ever been a part of, it's just, it's just a good game, man. It's good people going against, and I've just enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good for both communities, man. And they got a good coach
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
And Coach Dom, he's doing a great job over there at Crowsville. He really turned that program around last year. So props to them as well. We'll be having him hopefully on the network sometime soon before the season kicks off. We're trying to get all the coaches here in the Boot Hill to join us. And we appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
Shawn, being our first guest, man, and welcome home. And we hope you do
Yes,
great
sir. Thank
things.
you.
And, man, I appreciate your time, and I will see you at kickoff, baby. Let's go,
Yes,
Indians.
sir.
All right.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks,
brother.
brother. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. Yes, sir. Bye bye.